Self-doubt is the silent killer of dreams. And it's sneaky. It creeps in quietly, disguising itself as logic, caution, or just being realistic. It whispers that you're not ready, you're not qualified. Who do you think you are? There's no time for that. Come on, get real. It convinces you to delay action, to play small, and settle for less than you're capable of. And the worst part? It often sounds like your own voice. Behind every dream not pursued, every risk not taken, every goal abandoned too soon, there's usually a belief rooted in self-doubt. And left unchecked, it becomes the barrier between the life you're living and the life you're meant to lead. So let's fix that. On today's episode, I'm going to show you not only how to recognize self-doubt, but more importantly, how to get past it. Stay with me. Welcome to Shift or Get Off the Pot, the podcast that helps you get out of your head and into action so you can make your dreams your reality. Let's get to it. I watched my mom and brother go to their graves with so many dreams, so many ideas, so many things that they wanted to accomplish or experience in life, but yet they just couldn't get themselves into action. They didn't fully believe that what they wanted was possible for them, and they kept pushing things aside, buried really under a pile of excuses, reasons why they just couldn't take a step forward. And here's the thing. All of those reasons, all of those excuses were just self-doubt. And every time you let self-doubt win, you delay the dream that's been planted on your heart. But the moment you recognize it for what it is, a story, just a story, not a fact, you begin to take back your power. The truth is, you weren't born to play small. You are not given desires and dreams as a tease. You were born to rise, to lead, to create. The soul's purpose, your soul's purpose, is to evolve. But that sneaky self-doubt just gets in the way, and it is the number one reason people give up on themselves. And it wears a lot of disguises. Perfectionism, procrastination, justification, blame, victim, most common. I'm just trying to be realistic. I would actually argue that you're just afraid because you don't fully believe that what you want is possible to achieve. So the reasons for either not taking the time to clarify what it is that you truly want, or if you do know what it is that you want, the reasons for not going after it begin to pile up. And that self-doubt, it stops you from going after the business, the relationship, the body, the life that deep down you know you want. And self-doubt just does not get fixed with a few affirmations or even a plan of action, believe it or not. You have to overcome it by first becoming aware of your patterns of behavior. Because here's the deal. Your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior gives you results that just reinforce that belief. It's a loop. And it can either serve you if you've figured out what those beliefs are and you create positive beliefs. It can help to launch your dreams, or it can keep you spinning and spinning on this hamster wheel. So let me break this down so you can understand how beliefs then start dictating your results and keep you in maybe a self-perpetuating cycle. Let's use weight loss as an example. Let's say you want to lose, 10 pounds, but nothing ever seems to stick. Maybe you've tried different programs, you've tried different workouts, you start a plan, and maybe you're feeling great for a few days, maybe even a week or two, and then boom, something happens. Pizza night happens. And you tell yourself, damn, once again, I screwed it up. I just don't have the willpower. probably the negative chatter that starts to show up in your mind because you've had it before. So you're back here again, and our mind has more negative thoughts than it has positive thoughts. So then what happens? Well, you might try again for a few days, or you begin to create reasons why you just can't do it. And these are couched usually in justification. Maybe you're just too busy. Maybe it's not the right time. All these excuses start to show up why you can't follow the plan right now. And then you tell yourself, I'll get back to it next week. I have friends in town this week, or I'm traveling. I'll get back to it next week. But next week just keeps getting pushed out. And eventually you give up. It's because your core belief is running the show. And so now you just got a big fat, told you so, just can't do it. That's an example of a self-perpetuating cycle. It's not the pizza. It's not the food or the workout that derails your success. It's the belief behind the behavior. But here's the good news. If you can create a belief that holds you back, you can also create one that propels you forward. You cannot change your life, though, with just surface level tweaks. You can't just go out and think, oh, I am going to get myself truly organized and I'm going to get a planner and I'm going to have a whiteboard. I'm going to get a new calendar. I'm going to go start reading personal development books. I'm going to go to a weekend motivational conference. Yes, those things help. Absolutely. But they don't last. And listen, as a motivational speaker, I'm going to tell you that they are powerful tools, but lasting change requires an internal shift. So you might get all hyped up on motivation, but a few days, maybe a few weeks later, you're back to your old patterns. And then you start to say, what's the deal? Why can't I just get on with it? Because change, lasting change, doesn't happen from the outside in. It happens from the inside out. It's not what you do that creates your success. It's who you are. So let's say you're the type of person who believes that your worth comes from how hard you hustle. This was my mom's belief. Even if you are not consciously aware of this belief, because remember, your belief or your behavior rather is dictated by the belief. So now guess what? You'll burn yourself out trying to earn your value. So even if you say, wow, I just got this great book, I'm reading Timothy Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week, and you think, I could do this, totally makes sense. But you're going to have a hard time doing it. Why? Because your core belief says easy means lazy, and lazy equals worthless. So you snap back to a 50, 60-hour work week, and you call it discipline, responsible, determined. How do you know if your core beliefs are messing with your life? Look around. Just look at your results. Are you living the life that you say you want? And if the answer is no, then there is a sure bet that you have a belief that is standing in your way. So here's another example. Let's say you moved a lot when you were growing up. Maybe your family was always relocating and you were put in a situation where you had to meet new kids, to make new friends, new school situations, always having to make new friends. Maybe you told yourself, though, hey, I'm really great at this. I'm great at making friends. And you just didn't think about it. You chalk it up to moving a lot and having to develop new friendships. So it serves you. But your sibling with the same upbringing has an entirely different belief. Your sibling thinks that moving made it difficult to have friends. Maybe your sibling holds a belief that moving was the reason they could not develop close friendships. Same experience, totally different meaning, which can lead to that self-perpetuating cycle. It's hard to make friends, no matter how many social settings your sibling puts herself in. And the belief, remember, dictates the behavior. So now you don't approach other people, or you wait for people to approach you. But now you have a hard time keeping a conversation. So people begin to view you as distant or maybe just not interested, reinforcing your belief of it's hard to make friends. Why is that? Because our brains are primed to find evidence of what we already believe. It's just called a confirmation bias. So if you believe the world is tough and that life is difficult and it takes hard work to get ahead, your brain is going to filter out anything that suggests otherwise. So you're going to continue that cycle. But you have the power to choose better beliefs consciously and on purpose. You just have to understand what are those beliefs. And you do that by paying attention to the results that are dictated by the behavior that are dictated by the beliefs. So when you shift your beliefs, you start to shift your identity. And you start to make decisions not from fear, but from alignment. And this is where the magic happens. This is where change sticks. We don't get what we want. We get who we are. So instead of chasing maybe the next strategy or buying the next step-by-step system, ask yourself, who do I need to become? Not what do I need to do? Who do I need to be? This is the be, do, have model of success. And most people flip it and they go, when I have the time, I'll do the thing and then I'll be happy. When I lose the 10 pounds, I'll be able to participate in those activities and then I'll have more joy in my life. But that's backwards. The main principle in the be, do, have model for success is feeling. Even more so than visualization, because it's the feeling that vision evokes. It's how you feel when you've achieved your desired results. So the more that you can stay in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the more your belief that it's possible will begin to shift and your behaviors will follow. And the best part is that your mind will go to work for you because you've aligned your belief with that of the person who has already achieved the results. And that is so powerful because your mind now will start seeking opportunities, presenting chance encounters, giving you the ideas and the steps that lead to the results that you're after, provided, of course, that you take action. But lasting change requires an internal shift first. So you start by being the person who already lives in the feeling of the life you want. So you ask yourself, what would they believe? How would they act? How would they feel? You do that, and you'll start to have the results. It's not theory, it's identity. And when your identity shifts, your entire reality shifts. So if you're just tired of being stuck, and if you're tired of letting self-doubt run the show and having all these excuses and putting things off, and you're ready to create real lasting change, you got to start at the root. You got to question your beliefs. What have you been telling yourself? Change the belief, change the pattern, and you'll change the outcome. Every time you let self-doubt win, you have delayed the dream that's been planted on your heart. So instead, recognize it for what it is, a story, just a story, not a fact. So you can start to take back your power. I'll be back with you again next week with another edition of Shift or Get Off the Pot. Thanks so much for joining me here today. If you want some help achieving your goals, you can grab the Success Bundle link down below or head over to my website, kimkellythompson.com, where I have several free resources to help you. If you like what you've heard today, please consider hitting that subscribe button and join me throughout the week for episodes that will help you make your dreams your reality. I'll be back again soon with another edition of Shift or Get Off the Pot.